All right, so last night I did a YouTube live where I talked about the housing market here in Northern Virginia and whether we are in a housing bubble or not. But one thing that really blew me away was Fairfax County seems to be really on fire. So I wanted to break down a little bit and see what's going on here in Fairfax and why is the market so hot there. So I pulled up the stats from last month, September 2023, to see what the difference was year over year. And I think you guys are going to be shocked. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to my channel and text me anytime or email me info@colganteam.com if you have any real estate related questions. So let's take a look. If you look at Fairfax, right, let's go year over year. So Fairfax is actually down 36% on new listings. So there's only 916. So that means there's like almost 40% less houses to choose from if you're looking to buy a house. And then new pendings are down 14%. And then closed sales are down 21%. So if you're looking at that and you don't really know the state of things, you would be a little bit concerned, right? But it makes sense. There's only 36% less houses are coming on the market, meaning there's less to choose from, which means there's gonna be less houses to sell. So then I go in, what's the median sold price look like year over year in Fairfax? And what really shocked me is it's up to 3.2% to 650,000 from 630,000. So if you think about it, even though the market is slower and the rates are up to 7.5%, the prices in Fairfax are still rising. So why exactly is that happening? Well, let's look at this, right? Let's take a look at active listings. So active listings in Fairfax are at a 5-year low. There's only 1,078. So there's just a lot less to choose from. And then also at a 5-year low is average days on market, which is 14 days. So Fairfax houses are still selling. So the main issue is if you have a 3% interest rate, you're not going to sell right now to get a house at 7%. I think we're going to be at this for a while until we see rates start to hit around 5.5 or maybe even 6, where we should see somewhat of a spike. But at this moment, I think we're kind of going to be stuck where this Fairfax is kind of just moving at this pace, because the other thing that I noticed is houses are selling on average for 100.2% of ask, meaning people really aren't negotiating. Now I am seeing a little bit more of that where people are not paying like crazy numbers, or people are not like waiving inspections or appraisals and things like that. But let's take a look at like individual cities. Now keep in mind, Fairfax can be a little bit skewed because obviously there's a ton of cities in there. Some of them are just not that big, right? There's just not that many houses. But when I looked at the average sold prices year over year, Great Falls, which has got to be the most expensive zip code, in Northern Virginia, is down 5% to 1.749 million. That makes total sense, because you know what, like if the rates are 7.5% and you are someone that's going to borrow 1.7 million, you're probably not going to be excited about having that as an interest rate. So let's look at some bigger areas. Like McLean's is now down 1.2%. So the luxury market is starting to struggle, right? But again, makes total sense. Like if you're locked in on an $800,000 house at 3%, you're probably not going to sell that to get a $1.5 million loan at 7.5%. So let's take a look at like Fairfax. Like if you were just look at Fairfax County with the city Fairfax, they are up 5.3% to 735,000. Chantilly is up 4.3% to 752,000. You get over to Burke, up 4.8%. Springfield's up 5.9% year over year. And then you get over to Lorton, up 5.4%. And then the big one, Reston's prices are up 3.2% to 591,000 from 573,000. And then Centerville is up to 613,000 from 597,000. So obviously that lower end $600,000. Obviously that lower end market is still moving very quickly and things are selling. Now keep in mind, 3 to 4% is a normal market. So I believe right now we are in a normal market in Fairfax, but we will see what happens, right? Like rates could easily touch 8% this month, which could definitely change the game of the market. A lot more people are going to sit on the sidelines and kind of wait, but let's see what happens. But for this point on, at this moment, I mean, Fairfax is still on fire. It is still a great market compared to the rest of the country. So let me know in the comments below, like, what do you guys think? Do you think this trend will continue? Also, I'd love to know what other content you guys want me to make that you'd love to see. And as always, if you're thinking about buying or selling a house anywhere in the country, shoot me a text. You can also email me info@colganteam.com. I appreciate it. And as always, definitely subscribe to my channel.